my god. Oh my god, you guys. I just got back from the department store. And you know who I saw at the department store? Cher.
You just asked me if I've ever taken singing lessons. No.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to my cult. If you don't know who I am Saint Serpentis. I am your cult leader. Yes! Oh my god. So today we're going to be going over stylization. And what I mean by stylization is really thinking about where your product, which all you know for me is music, belongs. Every time that I make a pitch to any sort of playlist, to any sort of curators for my music, which I have not done in a little bit, and I do need to still. So we get back to 5,000 monthly listeners. They always ask one question, and that one question, it's like the first question, you know. It's always, where does this music belong to be played? And for a good bit, when releasing my old music, I really didn't know how to answer that question, and so I just put anything and I tossed it aside.
Is this iPad freezing out? Maybe it's overwhelmed because it just realized a fabulous diva was touching it. I can't really blame it. Snap out of it.
But I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers and friend, and we were talking about Drake, right? It started out with Drake and his horrid, I mean absolutely dog shit booty albums he just released. But we were talking about him and kind of versus Kendrick. And we weren't talking about them on the level of, you know, who won what beef, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't listen to male rap like that, and so I don't really know too much about the beef, right?
Cause no, this time you finna give Sarah, what do you wanna do? You wanna fight? It's definitely here's your influencer.
But there is one thing that I know about, and that is that they exist in two separate spaces, right? When you're thinking about music, and my friend said this to me, Kendrick's music is music that you have to listen to, okay? Right? Now follow me here, follow me. Kendrick's music is music you have to listen to. You have to sit there, listen to it, and digest the lyrics. It's not something that you can just be, you know, driving down the road and it's kind of zoned out of your brain. The flow is good, the beat is good, and you're just vibing with it. It is not vibing. It's something that is introspective, that is going to make you think, and that is going to make you consider a lot of things. And how we got on this topic is kind of me saying what I've been saying in my last two videos about, well, last three really, about how low effort music blows up really quickly, right? And my friend said to me, he said, well, it's not necessarily that it blows up because it's low effort. It blows up because it is consumable and because it can be played in the club, okay? So think about it. When you are in the club and you're drunk with your friends and you're dancing around and bumping it, you can bump it to Sexy Red because she doesn't sound cringe in the club, because you're not really listening to what she's saying. You're not listening to what she's saying. You're not digesting what she's saying. It's just something that the beat is hard, her flow is good. She could be saying, I love ice cream pops and I shove them up my ass and tickle my prostate. You're not gonna know what she's saying. You're gonna go, yeah, get it sexy, and that's it. So this really made me think about my own music and how, what really separates somebody as a mainstream artist versus somebody as a more introspective and independent artist. Now, Kendrick is mainstream, but I would put him in that independent category because, again, his music is not something that you can just, you can't just go to the club and throw on Kendrick. What are you gonna like? What are you gonna dance to? Niggas dead? Hello? What are we gonna dance to that? And that's not a bad thing at all. I do love introspective lyrics. And my entire first creation, music wise, was all about that. There are the lyrics in my stuff, and my original stuff is not something that you can just listen to casually. But oddly enough, at the time, I thought, oh, I'm making something that, you could just listen to the first time, and even if you don't really get it, you can still just listen to it and move on. And I'm also making something that is introspective. And I am realizing now the cross section between those two things is very, very, very thin. And I don't want to say it's impossible to merge them, but it is nearly impossible to merge them. Because again, when you're talking about heavy topics and you try to put it in a very like palpable, marketable club vibey way, it can come off as mockery. And it can, in a way, come off as you're not really taking the serious topic as seriously as you should be. And that is what I was really afraid of in my music. So, when we are looking at music and when we are creating music as creators, I'm learning now. I learned from that conversation with my friend. I have to think about that question a lot more than I do. I have to think about stylization. Where is this to be played? And so, as I'm moving on, creating my next project, I'm really thinking, firstly, about where do I want this to be played? I'm thinking about the topic, and then I'm thinking about where do I want this to be played? And then as I'm thinking about that, that's what's influencing me to write a little bit different. And so as I'm thinking about this stylization, I also have to think that I'm in the very early years of creating my music. I mean, I started a year ago. And I had a pretty great start. But I also felt like what I started with was going to shove me into a box. I never wanted to be stuck into a box. I have this dream of being this person who can exist in multiple spheres. And to do that, I really have to sit here and think about each sphere that I am trying to fit myself into. I have to think about each different stylization. And as I'm writing music, I have to stylize it differently. Okay? And let me tell y'all, I write so much music. Baby, I have a mixtape and like 3 albums worth of music that's written out. Okay, I be writing, I be writing music. Okay, but as I go through this and think about what is the way that I should really work things out and stylize my different things, I'm considering now mainly where do I want it to be played, who do I want it to be played by, how do I want it to be played, okay? So as I go into this next era of mine, I hope that you all can notice that growth from my original era. And I'm thinking about things like I just released Pray, right?
Shut up, don't at me, come on, get up, get aggy, see you vicious, just catty, none of you bitches gon' get active. I'm a bitch like Rottweiler, that talk it don't wow her. I'ma strike your shit like lightning, knock that bitch right off the tower.
My song, Pray. When I wrote that song, I knew it was not going to be a big hit. And that's because I thought about how that song was not meant to just be played. It's the opener for my next project, right? It is not the song that is going to be super popular, okay? So I took into consideration that This song is going to be something that is just going to introduce you to the main topics of this project. And then the other songs, I have to pick specific songs that are my, entry songs, right? And those are going to be the songs that I stylize for the club, for a bigger audience.
And I'm really on Missy. I'm finger on rock on Siggy. I'm in by 4 times 50. Better doubt me in hell you get me. You ain't never been that bitch. I'm a bitch who shits on madness. I'm Liddy and rare Miss Average. Miss Pussy bitch and you not shit.
And so I just want to say, stylization is very important when you are thinking about music and doing music. Stylization is what's going to separate you and place you in Spears. And that's it for this video. T-Grow.
Plus, I need $28,000.
For what?
I've decided I want to open a sushi restaurant.
What do you know about sushi?
I don't care about the sushi. I just want to yell at customers when they walk in the door. Irashaimase! Hajime mashite!